Okay, hi everyone and welcome to the Today we're going to talk a little bit about the vanishing point, which is a new feature in Photoshop CS2. Okay, just quickly, we're going to talk about the how to operate the vanishing point. For example, I've got an image here. It comes with your Photoshop CS2 folder. And what we're going to do is try and retouch some of the areas. So for example, you can go ahead and choose the rubber stamp tool or the healing brush tool and try and retouch it without the use of the vanishing point, but you will notice that you'll get some cross lines, especially from the deck here, and it'll make your life a little bit harder by just doing it without using the filter, the vanishing point filter. So what we're going to do is actually go ahead and go into filter, click on vanishing point, and this opens a new window. Let me just scale it down a little bit, just 50%. Fortunately, I can't move the window so you can see exactly what's happening, but I'm just going to delete the existing vanishing point and I'll show you how it works. Just drag this out of the way, and all you need to do is just click on the icon, create vanishing palette, and just click, and we're going to create a basically a rectangular sort of area where we can define which one, the perspective and the vanishing point. So basically in this case it's quite simple because we're following the lines of the deck. So here we have a vanishing point, and if I drag this, you'll notice that it just goes with the flow in terms of the perspective of the deck and the perspective of the camera. So it makes life quite easy. And if I drag this down, exactly the same, and I'll drag this out so you can see that as you drag, it actually coincides with all the lines. I could easily drag this one out as well. Okay, and what we're going to do next is actually start retouching the areas where the brushes are and so forth. So we can click on our rubber stamp tool, and from up on the top you can choose to have the heel off, or you can choose to have it on. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to have it to on. And again, with the Alt key, just like before, we're just going to click an area. I'm just using the line, so it makes life easy. But can you see how your cursor now has transformed to and picks up the area? This is so that it can align the lines properly. Now I've clicked already there, so which means that if I click and drag now, you see that it's part of the image and the lines are going to be perfectly lined up, so you won't have the problem of getting the cross lines or mistakes in terms of the perspective of the floorboards. At this point, I can actually go ahead and choose a new area, and I'm just going to click here again on this line, and you can see again my cursor has picked up that piece of image right there, and it depends on the diameter of your brush, by the way. And all I need to do before I start pressing the mouse button is to line that up with the existing perspective on the floorboards. As you can see right here, I just lined the cursor right up on that line and just click with the left mouse button and just drag. And now I can actually retouch that area up on the top. And because I've got the healing on, it will adjust the exposure to match the floorboards down below. So this makes life quite simple in this respect, and it will help you solve a lot of problems in terms of if you're working with architectural images specifically, or working with interior images. You'll have that problem where you'll have cross lines, and if you need to wipe something off, it will always have the problem of managing to line up everything correctly without the vanishing point tool. But this is just the beginning of this tool. There's another feature to this which is quite interesting, and that is you can actually use it to create your perspective, or your interior perspective or exterior perspective. I'll explain to you what I mean. Let me just click